What if we told you that the key to solving numerous societal issues was in rethinking our global drug policies? Sound controversial? Let's dive in. We live in a world where many drugs are deemed illegal, a status that's more often than not driven by historical context rather than scientific evidence. This has led to a punitive approach dominating our global drug policies, where the primary response to drug use is punishment rather than treatment. This approach has had far-reaching implications, impacting public health, our economies, law enforcement strategies, social justice, and crime rates. From an overstretched public health sector grappling with drug-related diseases and overdoses, to law enforcement agencies investing significant resources in criminalizing drug users, the current state of affairs is far from ideal. And let's not forget the social justice issues, with certain communities disproportionately impacted by these policies. But what if there was a different path? What if all illegal drugs were legalized globally? And imagine a world where public health systems pivot to focus on harm reduction and treatment over punishment. Let's take a trip to Portugal, where they've taken a bold approach to drug policy. Rather than punishing drug users, they decriminalized all drugs back in 2001. The outcome? Quite remarkable. They've seen a significant decrease in drug-related deaths and a drop in HIV/AIDS cases linked to drug use. This approach is centered on the idea that drug addiction is not a crime, but a public health issue. Instead of penalizing drug users, Portugal offers support and treatment, and it is paid off. Now, imagine this approach replicated globally. With a shift in focus from punishment to harm reduction and treatment, we could potentially see a substantial decrease in mortality rates associated with drug use. Public health could undergo a significant transformation. But what about the economy? Legalization could create new economic sectors, mirroring the cannabis industry in states like Colorado. Imagine, if you will, a world where the illegal drug market transforms into a powerhouse of job creation. With the right regulations, the formerly underground market could bloom into an above-board industry, providing opportunities for farmers, manufacturers, retailers, and more. Now, let's talk numbers. The tax revenue from a regulated drug market could be substantial. In Colorado, cannabis legalization brought in over $300 million in tax revenue in just 1 year. If we apply this model globally, we're looking at a potential economic windfall. And it's not just about the money. The birth of a new economic sector brings innovation, progress, and growth. It's a chance to rewrite the narrative, transforming a source of societal harm into a force for economic good. The economic benefits are clear. But what about law enforcement and crime? Law enforcement efforts could shift from criminalizing drug users to addressing the harms associated with drug use. As we consider this shift, we open a new chapter in the book of law enforcement and crime prevention. Picture this: a world where the police force, instead of spending time and resources on hunting down drug users, focuses on preventing more serious and violent crimes. It's a world where drug addiction is treated not as a crime, but as a health issue requiring compassion, understanding, and medical treatment. Let's delve a little deeper. The global criminal landscape could undergo a massive transformation. The illegal drug trade, often a significant driver of violence and crime worldwide, might diminish significantly. This could parallel the reduction in violence witnessed after the end of alcohol prohibition, and more recently, the legalization of cannabis in certain areas. Imagine a world with fewer drug-related homicides, a world where organized crime activities linked to the drug trade are substantially reduced. It's not a utopia, it's a potential reality that could be fostered by the global legalization of drugs. But it's not just about violence and crime rates, it's also about the allocation of resources. Law enforcement agencies could redirect their efforts and funds towards addressing more serious crimes or improving community relations. It's important to remember that these changes wouldn't happen overnight. They would require considerable planning, cooperation, and implementation of effective policies, but the benefits could be worth the effort. And while we're discussing law enforcement and crime, it's crucial to consider the potential ripple effects. We could see improvements in public safety, trust in law enforcement, and even prison overcrowding. This shift in law enforcement's approach could be a game changer, not only in terms of crime prevention, but also in terms of societal attitudes towards drug use and addiction. A safer world could be within our reach, but what about social justice and research? As we move forward on this hypothetical journey, let's ponder these questions and explore the potential benefits and challenges that might arise. Legalization could pave the way for progress in social justice and research. Firstly, removing legal penalties associated with drug use could significantly level the field of racial and economic inequality. Think about it. Communities that have been disproportionately impacted by drug-related offenses would see a significant shift. The possibility of expunging past convictions could offer a fresh start, a chance for individuals to reintegrate into society without the weight of a criminal record. Equally important is the potential impact on research. Legalization could unlock a wealth of knowledge and broaden our scientific understanding of various drugs. Imagine the medical applications that could emerge from unrestricted research into substances currently deemed illegal. We've already seen the benefits of this with the FDA-approved use of CBD for epilepsy and ongoing research into psychedelics for mental health treatments. With all these potential benefits, it's clear that the conversation on global drug legalization is one we need to have. The potential outcomes of global drug legalization could revolutionize our society. We've explored the prospect of a comprehensive transformation across various sectors: public health, economy, law enforcement, research, social justice, and crime-related areas. A shift toward harm reduction and treatment over punishment could drastically reduce drug-related mortality rates and diseases like HIV/AIDS. Economically, this move could stimulate job creation, generate significant tax revenue, and establish a new economic sector. Law enforcement could focus more on addressing harms associated with drug use, freeing resources to combat more serious crimes. The quality and safety of substances could improve, potentially reducing deaths from contaminated drugs. The decrease in drug-related crimes could be monumental, and social justice could take a leap forward by eliminating legal penalties that disproportionately affect certain communities. In research, our understanding and application of various drugs could broaden, paving the way for new treatments. It's a paradox, isn't it? Increased availability of previously illicit substances, if managed responsibly, could lead to safer outcomes, economic growth, and improved social justice. It's time we rethink our global drug policies. It's time for change.